This is the Samsung R505, which I featured in a, well, didn't feature, mentioned in a previous video, that apparently it was dead. Well, no, I couldn't have it, because it belonged to someone, but now it's mine, so I can technically do what I want to it, but in all honesty, this is really just a work machine, and it's on loan, so if anyone in the family needs a computer, they usually always go for this one. Which is weird because I have much nicer machines like that Toshiba back there with an i3 in it. But we shall see. So the previous segment failed for some reason. I don't know why, but I think now I've got a much betterly charged battery. This shouldn't freeze and give me strange artifacts. So we will see. This takes a while to boot up, despite not even being a factory version of the operating system. It does function. My camera's jittering out a little bit. It does function fine, but it takes a while to load everything. It's got a bunch of old stuff, like the Kodak all-in-one home center. Back when we had the awful camera. No, it wasn't a camera, it was a printer. Oh, I hated that thing. It broke, so I lobbed it in the nearest electronics bin. Here are the specifications for said computer. Sorry, my hand is shaking. Yes. The R505 is quite a nice system, granted. I did recently repaste it with new thermal paste, because it was really badly overheating, and that was because there was a hay bale, or a dust bale, embedded in the heatsink, and I had to actually pour water through the heatsink, well, without the electronics being anywhere near it. I had to, yes. It was hot water, because hot water somehow dislodges the dust better than cold water. Because the heat will melt it a little bit and it'll just blob out. The charger for this is slightly faulty. It'll only work in one angle, so I'll have to splice it up, stick it back together. Maybe. I do need to find more of vintage Macs, because I think people will like me more if I have old Macs. One interesting feature with this is the severe lack of any cooling. The fan is here, and there's no vent. That's the main vent, that's where the fan sits. Who the hell designed this thing? But anyway, let's come back with another system on the desk. Most of these are now ones I've owned. Yeah, most of these now are machines I've pre-owned, none of these are new. This is the RMBook 200, which I think is a clever machine in other countries, but in England it is known as the RMBook 200. RM machines are commonly found in schools, which is where I found this one, and are hated by IT professionals all over the country, for some reason. Mostly because, well, as you mentioned, it's so cheap they couldn't even afford a boot logo. It's missing whatever's supposed to go in those holes, doesn't have a CD drive, has the lowest of the low processor and the lowest of the low RAM. This one runs Linux Mint and has some kind of glitch that when the CPU gets overly hot, we're getting poor video feed, it's getting very blurry. Zoom. Focus. Good computer. Yes, when the CPU gets hot, this has a tendency to prevent you shutting the system down. It will just log you out constantly. It won't bother shutting the system down at all. So this one's hard drive might not last very long if I have to hard shut it down frequently. This was quite a nightmare to get the graphics to work properly. the amount of drivers and other malarkey I had to do, because it's Linux, it's not Windows. This should be the correct password. It is. And now we just gotta wait for the system to boot up. There's nothing special about this system, and of course it's Linux, so I can't open the system specs, although I don't have to, because that's written on the bottom of the system. Audio is extremely low for some reason. I'll fix that. That's better. Yeah, nothing really too fancy with this machine, aside from its radar network IP address detecting machine, which I won't demonstrate because all my IPs will be doxed, and I don't want to do that. So I'll just shut this straight back down again, just to prove it. Yes, just to prove it works. Still does this weird graphical glitch when it shuts down, which is totally normal. And this one does shut down because I've only had it running for a couple seconds. Oh, that's a tight power connection. That's what it is. It's an RMBook 200 with a Pentium dual core, 2100 MHz, and 2048 megabytes of RAM, which is 2 gigs. So it's crap, but it's budget. It's not going to be expensive and not going to be beefed up. Moving on to a Toshiba. This is the Toshiba A300 Satellite Pro. This machine has 2 hard drives in it, so this is the better model. I shall demonstrate it working by powering it up. It has a tendency to do that now for some reason. It does that double boot thing, the same thing the HP Mini does, which sadly is in a worse condition. Never fear, that usually is caused by a BIOS malfunction. I'll fix that and I'll get back. Okay, so of course something's gone wrong with my camera filming, as it always does, because my camera hates filming stuff. So in the previous video, of course, something went wrong with the BIOS in this Toshiba, which is due to a incorrect BIOS setting, because the BIOS battery is dead, and I can't change it because it's buried deep in the system. I can change it, but it won't be easy. So this runs Windows XP, no, this runs Tiny XP, because normal Windows XP keeps throwing up some kind of, I don't know, I think it was something for Windows 32 services error that kept popping up constantly. I don't know if that was showing up in older videos or not. I have no idea exactly what was going on with this machine. Some kind of echoey effect with the Realtek. No, I'm joking. It was just a custom startup sound I imported. I don't know if the set specs have changed since. I don't know, let's check. This is not legitimate Windows XP, this is Tiny XP. Why the hell does it say Chrysler Autos? That's weird. But yes, this has a Pentium dual-core T2370, clocks at 1.73 GHz, 900 and something odd megahertz, 199 gigabytes of RAM, physical extension, all that jazz. This is going to be my main XP rig as soon as I've replaced the BIOS battery, because this has 2 hard drives. Could my old HP Compact NX6100 pull that off? No. It can have 3 drives for all I care, because I can just get rid of the useless CD drive it has. Replace that with the caddy. This has Dolby Sound Room installed. I don't know if that's good or not. It has a Pentium dual core, which is the same as another A300 I have, except that A300 has some weird feature. Oh no, the other A300 is one of the lines that, I'm not going to say recalled, but had a massive failure with the NEC token capacitors, which are commonly found in that thing. So yes, when that fails, that'll be fun to replace. Oh yes, scheduler.exe. Yeah, for some reason this one has the low-pitched Windows sounds malfunction, and there is a way of fixing that. You just gotta download YouTube videos of certain Windows, or just download XP sounds as MP4 files, convert them, and then convert them to WAV, and then that somehow fixes the issues. So, yay. So that is the Toshiba Satellite A300, which is one of 2. Moving on to another Mac. This is a MacBook Pro A1278. This is my main MacBook Pro. Or should I say X-main, because I don't use this one anymore. What was I going to say? Yeah, this one has an SSD in it, that's why this one's faster than the other 2. I think it's always best to install SSDs into these old 2012, 2011 Macs, because these things be fast. Let me just quickly sign in. I usually pause the video when I do that, but in all honesty, I only feel like pausing it when I'm going to get a new system. So yeah, this is just a generic MacBook Pro, nothing too special about it. Not really economic to repair. I'm going to mute that because I don't want any of that playing whilst I'm looking at the system specs. About this Mac, it's macOS High Sierra. It's a 2010 13-inch, 2.4 GHz Core 2 Duo, 4 gigs of DDR3 RAM, NVIDIA GeForce 320M, 256 megabytes of video RAM, and a serial number which probably is now defunct, because warranty is long expired on this machine. Which is interesting. Oh wow, it even tells me how much Mac it has. Even AppleCare, which... yeah, AppleCare is not supported by this machine anymore. Okay, so let's shut this one down. It should do so without complaining. The hinges are loose on this. I need to find a way to sort this out. If anyone knows how I can sort this loose hinge issue. It's not bothering me, but it's becoming worse. I love this MagSafe connector. This is the same MagSafe as I think I've mentioned this before multiple times, but I have, of course, fixed that MagSafe in a video. Oh, let's put that over there and come back with an Acer. This is the Acer Aspire 5735Z, featured in a previous video when I was rambling on about the Samsung and me not owning said Samsung, and now I do. This has a Pentium dual core. It's supposed to run Windows Vista, but who the hell wants to run that? I do, but not on this machine. It has the bunch of lies as usual. This runs the ancient version of Chrome OS, known as Chromium. Cloud Ready, I think, is the newer stuff for this. I think I might stick Cloud Ready on this, because it's a old version of Chrome and it's not supported anymore. Oh yeah, I might do that. Let's put that down. This isn't, well, this at the moment is my main Chromebook because my actual Chromebooks don't work. And I might consider getting rid of the Asus Chromebook because it doesn't work. Well, it does, but it's missing a screen and the motherboard's messed up. It might, yeah, it might be a bit too expensive to repair. So I might, and it's not a machine I like. If it was something I liked, I would have obviously done what I can to repair it, but it's just a Chromebook. And we've got another Chromebook in there that only needs a new screen. So that I might just break that one for spares. You know, the hinges, the back cover, the Wi-Fi card. A lot of parts are in there that people can use, and I'll of course keep the motherboard as a donor board. Of course, battery keeps it charged and everything. This is a fully functional Chromebook. I could just search for stuff like that was totally random, but yeah, it just improves the GPU. The GPU hasn't failed in this, and probably won't fail due to the fact I've applied Arctic Silver MX4, not a product placement nor a sponsor. That'd be cool if they sponsored me. But who the hell's going to want to sponsor me? And the hinges, as per mentioned before, they are solid hinges. Look at the power in those things. This is my Jade laptop. Ooh, Luminec, that one weighs a ton, and probably will still weigh a ton. So we're gonna move on to another computer, which I believe is a Toshiba again. I don't know, I forgot how I stack them. Sorry for the overly shaky camera angles. I am really hungry, and sorry for the stuttery in my voice. I am super hungry. I might get something to eat after filming this segment. This is the Toshiba Satellite Pro A300 single drive model. This one only has one SATA port. Can only support one hard drive. This one's 10 times faster and 10 times better than the other one because it doesn't have any issues. But this one has a soldered on BIOS battery and an NEC token capacitor. So this one is better, but it's plagued. Which I'll of course be modding this laptop when it does fail. Ah yes, the classic interest that I've still like. Oh god. I'm not too embarrassed about certain wallpapers anymore. I don't bother changing them because they look nice. System. This. Oh god, that contains a school name in it, so I should probably cover that up. Yes, that's Intel Pentium Dual CPU T3400, Microsoft Windows XP SP3. This is the microscope PC because it has the Digital Blue QX5 software, and it also came with said software disk inside it. In fact, it might even still be in here. Nah, I took it out and put it somewhere. Well, this is Toshiba in action. This one has ClamWin antivirus because Avast doesn't run on it. This thing's locked down, so I can't add a password or a user or change the username. So yes, this is locked down because it came from a school, and it still had the original hard drive, and I didn't take it out. But it was like a loaner machine, you know, one you can loan out to someone, and it was only ever used for the microscopes, judged by the model number. This was found in a catering classroom, sat in a little yellow crate along with a ton of wires. I didn't keep any of the wires except the power supply. I donated all the other leads to IT because, well, there's some VGA cables and whatnot. They could be used. And one day I asked them about the said lost laptop, and they said, well, it's a piece of junk, but if you want to take it apart and do what you want with it, you can have it. And that was subsequently how I got my job in IT. And I loved that job, honestly. It was a shame when I had to leave one day. But I'll get a job in recycling computers and maybe my boss will let me record me repairing or recycling stuff. We shall see. But now we shall move on to another computer which I think is way older. This is a MacBook Pro, another A1278. This one's 10 times slower because it has a mechanical hard drive in it. This one I think runs El Capitan. I'm not sure, it runs something ridiculously old. This is gonna take forever. Even for the Apple logo to show up. I'll pause the video and come back when it's at a login screen. Oh, look at that, there's the Apple logo. So this is the P department computer, or XP, well the machine the hard drive is in, isn't from the P department. This was was given to me with the HP Mini 2133 in the school laptops thing. And, well, this I think was a music computer beforehand, so I might swap the drives back over when I fix the other A1278, if I even want to. It's got a screwed over keyboard, so I might. Well, the keyboard, trackpad and battery are all broken. Whatever. The system specs for this are... It has the old pinwheel, so it's... Oh, it's also Yosemite. Interesting. Built-in display. Storage. 4 gigs. So, yes. That is the A1278. This had a swollen battery in it, which I've mentioned previously, and it's quite nice. It's I actually didn't expect them to give this to me because it's a Mac, and of course Macs are expensive, especially in the school environment. But no, they just said take it, probably because of the battery. Because they didn't want a bomb in the school, so I guess they just gave it to me. So if it blew up in my house and not causing thousands of dollars of damage. So yeah, thanks, I guess. So moving on to, I think the HP Compact NX6100 is next. Yes, that's next. Let me go fetch it. This is the HP Compact NX6100, which technically was my first laptop in the collection. I didn't really collect laptops. Well, I didn't collect anything before. I just had a bunch of random e-waste I picked up that I said, oh, I like the look of you. So yes, this HP was kept in my bedroom. So this was kept in a nice climate-controlled environment because it was the only one that worked at the time. The Iridium and the Compact stayed down the shed. They both miraculously, well, one survived. And, well, the moment I put this down the shed, the thermal shock was so extreme, because literally it went from summer in the house to winter in the shed. The whole thing, literally, the hard drive couldn't handle it anymore. And, the thing died. So, I lost the OEM copy of Windows XP for this machine. The hard drive in this one, I think, is also on its last legs, so I might have to do something with that. I'll have to image it. Invalid date and time. I should probably change the battery in this as well. But of course the batteries in these aren't easily accessible. But don't worry, I'll be making something that'll make them easy to get to. Now, headphone warning. You might want to take the headphones off, because this is extremely loud, and you'll probably lose your hearing. So, well, you'll probably get blown through your wall beforehand, so yeah, that's just a fair warning. Loud sounds coming up. I was going to say that it was taking its sweet, sweet time, but it rudely cut me off. This is running Windows XP Service Pack 3. Well, most of my machines that weren't activated run Service Pack 3, because for some odd reason Service Pack 3 is the only copy that activates now. Service Pack 2 doesn't, so anything that still has Service Pack 2 on it, I like to keep around. Yeah, this machine does take quite a... well, it used to take forever to start up. Because, for whatever reason, it was just slow as hell. Mostly due to the hard drive being on its last legs, because I don't think it's supposed to be under that much read-write strain constantly. But you can see I use it for quite a lot of XP stuff, like Windows CE modding with my sat-nav and a bunch of other bits and bobs that I like to do with this. This was my ex-main PC, actually. No, my primary daily driver was an eMac. This is my primary laptop. And I think, yeah, just over time I got more and more PCs, and then I got the Windows 7 machine, so that was... the Packard Bell was my first desktop down the shed. No, the Fujitsu was. The Packard Bell was the secondary machine. And the JITs died, so the Packard Bell took over its duties. And the Windows 7 machine I started to use more frequently. And then I just began using that as a daily driver until the hard drive died in it, and now I have more ThinkPad. So let's get the system properties of this one back up, because I haven't done much with this. Yeah, there we go. I'm not sure what else to do with that one. Although I can safely say that this also has Windows 10 USB sound, but I won't demonstrate, because I already demonstrated previously. So I'm just going to shut that down. For some odd reason this does blue screen on shutdown. Some odd reason. If anyone can actually help me diagnose what it means, please say, because I need the help with this. Oh my god. That's the issue when you have startup programs. The speakers in this are amazing. I think they're on the front. This is a business class notebook, and most business class machines don't have the best audio solutions. Most of the entertainment stuff, like the 6400 and the DV6, they've got better speakers because they're built for gaming and entertainment and whatnot. Although the DV6 I don't think can handle gaming because it'll die. Yeah, not a lot is really happening with machines. I mean, I do get new computers most of the time. It's quite fun. Yes, that's the error code. I don't know what it means. But yes, it blue screens on shutdown for some reason. So that was the Compact NX6100. Lovely computer, by the way. It's nice. It keeps the business bland grey notebook scheme. I like it. So we're going to be moving on to the Samsung. This big behemoth is the Samsung X30. This was technically supposed to be used as a prop in some kind of drama performance, but for some reason it was only ever used a grand total of once, and then lobbed in e-waste. It wasn't even a functional machine, because it had no charger. So my dad gave it to me. So it was like, yeah, you can have this. Thank you. It takes memory sticks, so it has some kind of collab with Sony there. It runs Fedora 16, has a scroll wheel that I don't think works, NVIDIA graphics, which do still work, amazingly, a Centrino processor, a Wise View Samsung LCD, and a typical bunch of lies. Now this machine has changed slightly. The hard drive deterioration, I think, is bad. Getting worse, maybe. This is probably going to be the first machine that's going to be imaged, purely because it's playing up. Yes, I've changed the wallpaper, because, well, it was really just a memorial of the C600 that had died. But it's not dead anymore, so I had to change it. So I changed it to iPhone. This is some kind of system tools. No, there's no system. System monitor might show me some details about this. System. There we go. So that's the specs for this machine. Has a 1.60 gigahertz and 1020.5 megabytes of RAM. This did have some kind of lead-free RAM issue, which I'm not surprised because it has no lead in it. Leaded solder. So this is the Samsung. It has 132.5 gigs of space left. Some kind of Wi-Fi issue it's having. Oh well. That's not important. Let's shut it down. This takes a while to shut down because it's Linux. Okay, so this one's powered off now. Another problem with this is when it's on charge, the battery loves to get mega hot. I mean, whilst I was charging it up this morning, it got so hot I had to take the battery out and shove it in the fridge. Not the whole computer, thankfully, but just the battery. Oh, so that's, again, an unusual but very nice computer, which I love to have in my collection. This is the Acer TravelMate 290, which has to be one of my favourite machines. This is dual booted with Ubuntu 6.06 and TinyXP. So we're going to be booting into Ubuntu. As my phone has more charge, I can probably show you Windows loading as well. So this is running Ubuntu 6.06 Dapper Drake. Not the first version of Ubuntu, but close enough. Couldn't find an ISO for the first version of Ubuntu, but it's fine. Now this doesn't support WPA2 Ethernet, sorry, not Ethernet, Wi-Fi, so this won't connect to the Wi-Fi, so any internet-based stuff needs to be done on the XP installation, which is funny because that's the complete opposite with the Compact 610, which is underneath DV4000. So let me just insert the password and all that, and I'll get back. I love the startup on this. think I showed system information in the previous video, but I don't know how to bring it up on Ubuntu. It's still got TeamViewer installed, which I've got to get rid of, because I hate TeamViewer. Absolutely pointless application. It's good for modern computers, but it has zero support for old stuff. So this boots up quite slow, but shuts down incredibly fast. Probably because Ubuntu, I think, uses most of the RAM for temp file storage and whatnot. And I think I selected shut down instead of restart. Yes, I did. Okay. I think I remembered this computer from years ago. I think this is being pulled apart. But of course, it was put back together somehow, and well, here it is, in all of its glory. I thankfully saved this from going in the e-waste during a clear-out. There was an old Toshiba, not the A300 series, something much newer that ran Vista. It was horrible. And I had to choose which machine to sacrifice, so I just yanked the RAM and the hard drive out of the Toshiba and saved the Travelmate. So let me just quickly sign in. This is running the classic version of XP Professional, so this I mostly just use for more Windows CE registry editing. I don't do a lot with this machine. But there you go, that's the specs. 496 megabytes of RAM. All that good stuff. So let's shut it down. And that'll be the end of this part, because this is the middle stack of machines. In part 3 we'll be looking over the machines on the third stack, which is mostly just netbooks. And then maybe we'll move on to the broken machines in part 4, or the crippled machines. But this has been another Luke Davis video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all later.